We're going to cover some hardcore YouTube tips that are directly pulled from over 41 million viewed plus videos. Videos have gotten over 1 million views. Myself and the Think Media team have created a lot of videos over the year, and we're extrapolating 5 lessons in this video. But here's the thing. Anyone can apply these. And the truth is everybody starts at zero. I started and I didn't know what videos to make. I didn't know what to talk about. I didn't know these best practices. But fast forward to today, have grown multiple different YouTube channels and have learned a bunch of lessons from them. And so we're actually across these channels. I've generated over 447 million views, posted 41 videos with over 1 million views, 7 shorts with over 1 million views. And this is also education content. So all things being equal, entertainment can typically be a lot more broad appeal or wider appealing. So it's some very interesting results. But even more importantly, our students have generated over 23.5 billion views. And we track this really in depth with like this whole Monday board we built out. But here's the big idea. Today, we're talking about 5 lessons from my videos with over 1 million views. These are videos I've posted and some of the other Think Media team members have posted. But I asked myself, what are some of the lessons? Here's number 1. Clear titles under 7 words tend to attract more views. So here's one of the videos I posted, 1.6 million views. And the title is Best Cheap Smartphone Accessories for Video. 6 words in the title. How to get free stuff on Amazon, 3 million views. It has 7 words in the title. Free sound effect packs for YouTubers, royalty free, 8 words. How to use your smartphone as a webcam for free, 10 words in the title. So 7 is not like a magic number, but the goal is how few words can we use? 8 words in this title, best video editing software and video editing tips. This one has 8 words. And so I did an average of the title length of the top 40 Think Media videos. All of these videos have over 1 million views. And the approximate amount of words in the title was 9.5 words. There's a great book. I'll link this up in the description. It's called Smart Brevity. And we're living in a world where attention is scarce, where less is more, where our goal should be to opt for shorter, simpler words so we have stronger impact. And we want to tailor our messaging to the audience. One of the kind of my favorite entertainment creators is named Ryan Trahan. And his video concepts and titles are always very lean. I spent 100 days in the metaverse, 7 words. Check this out. I stayed in secret hotels, 5 words in the title. And here's some viral YouTube title tips. So did you know that YouTube titles can be up to 100 characters? That's the maximum amount of characters, counting spaces and letters, but only 70 show up in search results. So if you can keep your YouTube titles under 70 words, or at least know that what comes first in your title is super important, because the first thing seen, if the last 30 characters are going to get cut off, what you lead with in your title is going to be very important. The goal would be to aim for 55 to 70 characters to avoid your titles getting cut off, because at 55, there's other places where that is the max before the title starts getting cut off. All the more important to say those first few words matter. And then for shorts, you want to focus on the first 40 characters if you want your title to be readable and not cut off. So here's a question for you. Ask yourself, how can I create the shortest, most impactful YouTube titles that clearly convey my message? How can you balance brevity with clarity in your YouTube titles, understanding that the thumbnail will also play a role? And how can you write YouTube titles that are easy for your audience to understand and remember? Here's tip number 2. Start titles with how to or best. Now, remember, we're talking about education content here. And that's what Think Media and our Think Media podcast channel is focused on. And so when I looked at the themes from the top videos, how to or best showed up in a lot of them. Best, copyright free music for YouTube videos, top 3 sites. How to create a YouTube channel for beginners, step-by-step tutorial. Best video editing software and video editing tips. Here's tip number 3. The easier your video is to understand, the better. And so if we look at some of the viral videos, over 1 million views, we look at this video here. It's called Adobe Premiere Pro Tutorial, How to Start for Beginners. The thumbnail says how to start. You've got the logo there. You have a lot of minimal space, or if you will, what would be the word for it? You have margin. The title is not, the thumbnail is not crowded. And it's a very simple concept and a simple desire. I want to start. I'm a beginner. And it's been refined down to have smart brevity, to just be a clear package. This video with 1.8 million views, I posted on how to make a YouTube video beginner's tutorial. And the thumbnail leveraged the YouTube logo and also said step by step, tried to make it very clear. This YouTube short actually only got 818,000 views, but it says the title is 7 words, and it says how you make money as a YouTuber. And the topic is very easy to understand. I think it's important to know that the average adult reading level in the United States is around 7th to 8th grade reading level. So if you're thinking about reaching broad appeal, now you want to stick around until tip number 5, because I'm not saying we should chase viral. And a lot of these principles need to be filtered through who are you trying to reach with your YouTube channel? Who's your ideal audience? Perhaps your ideal audience is PhD doctors, who are speaking at an entirely different level. You want to keep that in mind. But here's a big idea. If you're going to get a lot of views, you probably need to reach a wide amount of people. And the widest amount of people, as far as the US data would tell us, speak at a 7th to 8th grade reading level. So we're talking about making the concept of the video as clear and as simple to understand as possible, so that it can have the broadest appeal possible in terms of how it's packaged and titled. Now, today's video is actually brought to you by vidiq.com/think. And you can check this out in the description. This is a suite of tools, and you can start and do a trial for 30 days for just $1. But here's what's kind of cool. Let's check this out for a second and look how we could use some of these tools to apply what we're learning. When you log inside of vidIQ, you would connect it to your YouTube channel. And so once you do that, there's all kinds of cool tools like the Generate tool, the Outliers tool to study top performing video ideas and learn from them. But I actually want to go to the AI coach and look at some prompts we could do here. You could do the basic chat or the advanced chat with the AI coach. And I'm going to type in a prompt here that says this: give me 5 title ideas under 70 characters for a video about how to get started in real estate investing with no money. So going into this video idea, I know what the concept is that I want. And here are the title ideas: start real estate investing with no money, beginner's guide, how to invest in real estate with $0, no money, no problem, real estate investing tips. Now, here's the key, though. Think about what we just learned. My prompt was influenced by give me title ideas under 70 characters because of what we just learned a few minutes ago. Now, imagine saying here, give me 5 title ideas under 55 characters. Because remember, there's some surfaces where that's the only amount shown. And if we're talking about smart brevity, let's use AI to help us refine our concepts and create punchy titles. So here are 5 title ideas under 55 characters. Start real estate investing with $0. Strong. And what are we learning from some of these viral videos? We're assuming here that your niche would be real estate, so you could apply your own channel using vidIQ to do this. But think about having a strong, wide-reaching. Now, again, not everybody wants to do real estate investing, but you want to reach everybody that's interested in that with a very simple concept, very powerful to consider how you could do this. No money, no problem, real estate tips. And that start real estate investing with $0 is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 word title. Pretty powerful. How to invest in real estate with no money. Again, a lot of times I feel like we sometimes make, well, this is a complex thing, and sometimes we make complex things even more complex. But genius is making complex things simple. If you can't explain it simply, you don't understand it well enough, it's been said. So something about refining your ideas down to make them as simple as possible if you want to reach more people. So that's one way you could use vidIQ. Now, also check this out. If you use the AI coach, because it's connected to my channel, I could do a prompt like, what lessons can I learn from my most viewed videos on this channel? And what's cool about vidIQ, because there's lots of great AI tools out there, but a couple things. One, it's connected to your channel so it can look at your analytics. Two, it's leveraging an API from another AI service like ChatGPT, but they're training it to be a YouTube coach. So that's why it's different than the other AI services out there, because it actually is being, if you will, programmed to be a YouTube coach. So I've got a few more tips for you, but let's see what the AI coach connected to Think Media could learn from some of my top viewed videos on Think Media. Number one, the popular mean sound effects video has got 2.5 million views, and it talks about how free resources or tools for content creators, such as sound effects, music, or templates, is something they'd be interested in. Great. Educational content, how to create a YouTube channel for beginners, got over 2 million views. Highlights the importance of educational content, tutorials, and step-by-step guides. Your audience highly values those. Now, check this insight out, though. Continue to create detailed, beginner-friendly tutorials. I'm actually going to be doing a part 2 of this series because I have more than 5 tips on the lessons from million viewed videos and my highest performing videos. So definitely subscribe if you're interested in that. But one of the tips I think we'll be talking about in part 2 is beginner-friendly, or helping people start in your niche. Because the widest market, again, we're talking about getting as many views as possible, is always going to be the beginner market. Right? Makes sense. More people are at a beginner stage than are at an advanced stage. So depending on how many views certain top videos are going to get, this insight. Now, by the way, you're here and you're subscribed. I'm hoping you're getting value out of this video. And we're going through tips that I used actually AI to prepare for this video. I used vidIQ to prepare for this video, and I synthesized those. But imagine being able to have an AI coach you could talk to connected to your channel that could be giving you insights as you just start asking it questions and having this conversation with the AI. So pretty cool, right? So these are a few different things: engaging thumbnails and titles, comprehensive guides. Oh, that wasn't even one of my tips. There's something about, if you want to stand out on YouTube, longer form content is doing really well right now. If it's comprehensive, not just long because you sat down and talked for 45 minutes and had no structure or no plan. Longer form content that is structured, teaching, step-by-step. vidIQ said it way better. Comprehensive, in-depth guides that cover the entire process of something or a skill, the entire processes or skill in detail, ensuring that viewers can follow along and learn effectively. Pretty cool. So ultimately, if you want to check out vidIQ, that is just one of the suite of tools. It's their AI coach. And you could try that at vidiq.com/think. It's just $1, probably the best dollar. You can cancel before the month is over and get a whole bunch of wisdom and insights. But if you click the link in the description or go to vidiq.com/think, you get a full 30 days for $1 to tap into all the tools so you can boost your channel, get views. It's going to be a fun time if you check out that tool. Number 4, thumbnails are crucial for video success. So of course, multi-million viewed videos, over 1 million viewed videos have had good thumbnails. I think we could all see that, but let's look at some of the lessons we can learn. First, this is a how-to video. So tapping into an earlier tip, how to record your screen with internal audio on a Mac. Now that's the audience desire. So having a specific audience desire, but let's look at the thumbnail. Simple, simplicity. A lot of Sam, can you tell me in the chat? I've got Sam joining me later. What would you call it? Negative space. A lot of it's like a design principle. And you could ask Gemini and see like what that is. And I think it's that sometimes we feel like we need to cram the canvas with things as opposed to actually how much space can you leave open so that the thing you want to highlight, in this case, the computer in the center, negative space is Sam, who's actually one of the designers and coaches on our team in our elite level and accelerator level programs. We do some stuff where we actually help people. We design thumbnails for you, and we do cover images and stuff for you. But so part of this is also just the negative space and the simplicity of the concept and of the thumbnail. Now, here's another example. Only 5 words in this title: best DSLR settings for video, over 1 million views, and very simple thumbnail: best DSLR video settings, yellow arrow, pointing to the camera. You know what you're going to get: clear, good lighting. And this is also 7 years old. My thumbnails have gotten a lot better since then, but still the most viewed videos have a lot of the best practices. So here's another one: best camera for YouTube, back when it was Canon M50 versus A6400, over 1 million views. Here's my challenge for you. Is it possible to eliminate all words from your thumbnail? There's no words in this thumbnail, but it tells a good story. Holding 2 cameras, my eyes. Those are some romantic eyes. That's me looking at the M50 like, dun, 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 dun. Hey, camera. I see you over there looking good, ready to create some content, Like, I've never seen, I bet Sonia, my wife, is like, why do you look at your cameras? Why don't you look at me like you look at your cameras? It's kind of funny. Look at that. So, I'm looking over there at the camera. I got the red arrow. So there's some emotion, subtle emotion, red arrow, a little bit of a storytelling ties into the title. So how can you tell a story with your thumbnail and create curiosity? Some of the huge thumbnail mistakes I see people make is too much text. Their thumbnail is just packed with text. I like to try to have 3 or less words or no words, repeating the entire title, repeating the entire title text in the thumbnail. So if you title your video like how to lose weight, at home exercises for women over 40, then your thumbnail is like how to, and it's like just packed with text. It's an echo, but it's redundant. It's unnecessary, but it's also just busy. You don't want your thumbnails to cause anxiety. Unless, of course, it's kind of like scariest water slide in the world. Maybe it is, because you're like, oh, it'll be wild to watch this video because it's so, you get what I mean. You don't want your thumbnails to cause design anxiety. Like, where am I looking? There's so many things happening. Why are there so many words? Why are there so many elements in this thumbnail? I don't know what's going on. Simplicity, clear, busy, and confusing. I don't want to get confused. On YouTube, if you confuse, you lose. Clarity is power. So if we look at this thumbnail, there's only 2 words in the thumbnail: start here. The title is different. If you have 0 subscribers, do this first. And some very simple icons speaking to the creation of the camera and then the YouTube logo itself. So I want to encourage you, avoid repeating title text in your thumbnail. Instead, use visuals and concise text, like 2 words that say start here or try this, to grab attention. 2 words that, secret trick, or like this worked, or, just thinking about 1, 2, 3 words that complement the title. Now, there's also an interesting insight, and that is having the problem in the thumbnail and no person, or having the person in the thumbnail. So when I looked at Think Media, 30 of the top 1 million viewed plus videos had a person in the thumbnail, but 10 did not have a person, 25%. Because here's the thing, sometimes not including your face in the thumbnail can help your videos go viral. This is especially effective if your content focuses on solving a problem, like a video editing software tutorial, right? People just want the Final Cut tutorial, and they may or may not, if someone's face is in it, again, you just have to think about it, and you make your own decisions, right? You might say, I don't like the way why is that guy wearing a blue hat? Why does he have, the face of a boy, but the hair of an old man? You know what I mean? Like there's different things. And so you just don't click on it. Whereas you might be like, I don't know. I don't know who the teacher is, but it looks like it's good and it's being recommended to me. I'm going to click on it because of the problem or the promise, not the person. And so by prioritizing the problem over the person, you can attract clicks from a wider range of viewers. just something to consider strategically. Again, the takeaway here is both are included in our over 40 videos with over 1 million views, but 25% just focus on no person in the thumbnail. Are you finding this video valuable? Do you want me to do a part 2 of this? Smash like, let me know in the comments if you're getting value, or gently hit the like button. Would appreciate it. That would be awesome. All right, number 5, viral videos are overrated. Viral videos are overrated. So we're talking about viral videos. Success leaves clues. So I think you're like, I don't want to go viral, or my niche is really small. Even still, I would suggest that every tip in this video is applicable to help you reach more of the people you want to reach. And while I understand too that there's massive opportunity in the creator economy and not everybody is going to get 1 million subscribers or get 1 million views, following these tips can get you to 1,000 subscribers, 10,000 subscribers, and I would argue could get you to part-time or full-time on YouTube without going viral. And let's talk about that, because viral videos are overrated. Here's a couple examples. The 2 most viewed videos of all time on Think Media are these 2 videos. 30 funny sound effects YouTubers use. There is nobody in the video. All they are is it just starts and there's like 30 sound effects. And then popular meme sound effects. They got some crazy views. 8.6 million views, 6.9 million views. But here's the question. Does the audience attracted by this viral video align with my YouTube channel's goals? Now, if it was out of complete disalignment, I would delete or private the videos. If it was totally off brand, because Think Media is video tips, video editing, how to create content. And so downloadable sound effects for video editing is on brand. However, let me guess, tell me in the comments, what audience do you think is mostly downloading these? Like the popular meme sound effects. Do you think that's 45-year-old professionals who spend a lot of time on LinkedIn? Do you think that's, 38-year-old real estate agents who are doing really well and want to scale their business with YouTube? I'm just kind of describing, a lot of times the people we help, we'll serve anybody. Like, I think anybody who watches our content, we help a lot of entertainment and creators that are wanting to vlog and stuff. But the people we help best are educators and professionals who want to build real businesses and a lot of times want leads, clients, and sales. Do you think these 2 videos are attracting those? So this is just the question to ask, is that sometimes viral can be overrated. And even crazier is the meme one grew Think Media by 17,000 subscribers. And the funny one grew Think Media by 22,000 subscribers. But are those subscribers, do they like me? Shows you how much I deal with insecurity and, questioning my worth. Did they subscribe for me? Did they subscribe for Omar? One of our Think Media creators over the years? No, they didn't subscribe for anybody, actually. They just subscribed for a utility-based thing. So then the question is, now they're subscribed, watch the insight. I upload a video like, hey, Sean here, ready to help, 40-year-old dad, just, and they unsubscribe or don't watch or don't click. So what's that doing to your channel? Again, these are tensions I wrestle with. You want to know why I'm up at night? I'm just thinking about, what should I do with those meme videos? I'm saying viral can be overrated. And does the audience attracted by the viral video align with your YouTube channel's goals? Better question, your online business goals. Let's take it a little bit deeper. We had a viral short on the Think Media podcast channel. This is funny. Okay, so I interview Eric Worre. And one of the things we do, which is a great practice, is we cut out clips from our video podcast. Great, that's great. We upload them as shorts. That's great. We upload them on other platforms. I'm excited. Are you excited? This is great. But this particular clip, number 1, starts with Eric Worre talking about Rob Dyrdek. Okay, so you can see it on screen. There he is, Eric. He's talking about Rob Dyrdek from Ridiculousness. I'm in the video. I think I say one thing. I go, as Eric's talking. That's the total amount I'm in the video. Okay. It's not about YouTube. It's kind of about business, but okay. So I think you see where I'm going. So this short really doesn't even have me in it. Again, since I absolutely demand to be the center of attention. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying, again, if you're trying to build a personal brand channel, but you're attracting people who don't want to follow and listen and connect with you as a personal brand, or if you're even trying to build a company brand, are they following Eric? Do they care most about Rob? And I'm not even really overthinking this. I probably am overthinking this, but like, if you see where this is going, what do these subscribers matter for the future of the channel? It's cool. Now let's look. This video got 9.9 million views so far, but let's talk in like a month. This video is still taking off. Like it'll probably have 20 million views in its lifetime at its current trajectory. It grew the channel 25,800 subscribers. This is also a side quest of a viral short. Shorts people watch shorts and longs people watch longs. It's just true. You don't really see a transference of the audience. So while I would argue with people who go, well, shorts destroy YouTube channels, maybe. That's not what I believe. But here's what I believe. These 25,800 subscribers, by the way, if you're watching this and you subscribed because of that Rob Dyrdek video, which is probably a low likelihood, but let me know in the comments. That would be absolutely amazing. There's almost like no chance that somebody would be here for a long form live stream from a 44-second short with Eric Worre and Rob Dyrdek is like the main thing. Do you see what I'm saying? So with kindness, I just want to say like those 25,800 subscribers are like the worst subscribers in the it's not kind, but I mean, I do mean that. It's like, no, it's actually, I love you guys and you'll probably watch my other shorts. You'll probably never see this because this is what happens. When you really have certain shorts growing on your channel and longs growing on your channel, you just kind of create two different audiences. So you can keep serving and helping your shorts people and they like to watch and you get like a very small percentage of overlap. But besides the fact of shorts versus longs subscribers virality, my point is, who did this video attract? Like what kind of people that are like, oh, and by the way, the comments, I get comments all day long on this video. Oh man, I miss Rob and Big. Oh man, no, Rob doesn't actually spend time with this ridiculousness. Like MTV is ruined. It's just like an ongoing conversation, 24/7, 365 on this dang short. Now, the video did bring in $1,800, which is pretty remarkable for a short. But I think we can land the plane saying that the insight is viral can be overrated. Like, what did this video align with my channel goals, with my business goals? No, not really. And hear me, it's a part of a podcast. And yes, the related video feature, people can click through and they could go over there. And I don't want to take it down. I've debated taking it down or just making it unlisted. But I'm also always studying. And by the way, I'm your guinea pig. That's why you should watch this channel, to be like, let's learn from Sean's mistakes, his pain, his foibles, and his insecurity, because then we can go further faster because of all of those insights. And so ultimately, here's the big idea. Viral is overrated. And if you don't even need viral views to go part-time, full-time, if you've got the right strategy. In fact, as we land the plane, if you haven't watched our free masterclass on how to make serious money on YouTube without going viral, must watch. Thinkmasterclass.com. You can watch it on demand. There's a link in the description down below, or you can go to the website, thinkmasterclass.com. But let's talk about, though, viral can be overrated, but viral can also be good. And this would be a good example of if you could get 4.3 million views, which is how many views this video got, on the subject of best copyright-free music for YouTube. By the way, with me in the thumbnail, if you thought about trade-offs, perhaps me not in the thumbnail could have got even more views, but me being in the video, me being able to connect with the viewer, because in a world where it's one thing to get views, it's a whole nother thing to actually make a connection with a community and actually build. It's one thing to even get subscribers, like 25,000 short subscribers who don't even know who you are, would never recognize you, versus 25,000 subscribers who do recognize you and are grateful and have made a connection with not just your tips, but some of your story and some of your personality. Two entirely different things. So be careful with viral, because viral can be overrated, but viral can be great if you make the right videos with the right title on the right topic And even if you tap into the power of search, because there's an aspect to this, video is 6 years old, got 4.3 million views over the years. How valuable is that? And I would argue this video is absolutely attracting the viewer I want to reach, the audience I want to reach, the person I want to help. There's someone, and by the way, it's long form as well, not short form. Somebody who wants to watch a little bit of a longer form video, get deeper insight. So here's the recap. Clear titles under 7 words tend to attract more views. Start titles with how to or best. The easier your video is to understand, the better. Thumbnails are crucial for video success, and viral videos are overrated. Just be careful with viral, because there's a good side and a dark side to viral videos. Now, I am going to be doing a part 2, so definitely subscribe if you are not subscribed, and let me know what you like best out of those 5 tips and what could you apply to your channel. And this is the Coffee with Cannell show. So today I've got one of our Think Media coaches joining me. We've got 2 coaching conversations coming up. It's going to be a lot of fun. And so gently tap the like button, and let's dive into the show. What is up, and welcome back to the Think Media podcast channel. My name is Sean Cannell, your guide to building a profitable channel, and this is the Coffee with Cannell show. Today, I am sipping on coffee, and let me know what you're drinking in the live chat. Today's coffee comes from Say Coffee out in New York City. I'm sipping on some Kenya. This is got notes of currant, blood orange, and hibiscus, and brewed that in my AeroPress downstairs. And this is my attempt to someday get a coffee sponsor for the show, because the show is called Coffee with Cannell. If you never checked out Say and you like, I'm drinking black coffee as I would, and always looking for those. Colombia and Ethiopia would be my 2 favorite regions, and I like it if there's a little bit of citrus, kind of like a tannins to your coffee would be what I prefer. And so glad, in case you asked or you wondered. Now today, if you've got questions, you can put 4 question marks before and after your question. We're going to jump into our first coaching call with Rena in just a second here. But I want to welcome Sam, one of our Think Media coaches. Now, Sam is an absolute legend, family man, leader. He is a YouTube creator himself, also an all-time designer. So has a particular wisdom for design, aesthetic, thumbnails, and branding and positioning, helping you kind of craft your message design-wise with the words and positioning that can really help your channel stand out in a sea of sameness out there on YouTube. And is also just a YouTube genius. Sam, how you feeling today?
I'm feeling good today, Sean. I am sipping on some Arizona tea, so maybe we'll do a spin-off, Sipping with Samuel or something.
Yeah, Sipping with Samuel. You know, Arizona tea was in the news for like aggressively holding their prices at $1.
Bro, I saw that interview.
Despite of inflation.
Yes.
Like we're going to keep it at $1, which, you know, is not even $1 anymore, thanks to the Fed.
Right. I love the philosophy behind it. But yeah, Don, what's his name? Don Voltaggio, I think, is the owner of the company, but they own everything. He's wanting to keep prices low, so I'll support it for sure. And it's good tea.
It. Well, we got ice cold Diet Coke in the chat. We got espresso. Right. Come on, let's go. Warm chocolate espresso mix, sounding great. Pre-workout. Let's go, Sean. We got to get the gains on. Yes, we got water. Had to cut back on the coffee due to seizure. Sorry to hear that. Wise move though. And let's dive in. So let's welcome Rena to the stream today. So good to see you. Last time we hung out was at Grow a Video Live in person in Las Vegas. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you so much. I've been away, I'm embarrassed to say, away from YouTube for far too long. 3 weeks in this industry is a long time, but I have a good excuse. My daughter was a competitor in the Paris Olympics. So we went over there, and then we had a very long overdue family vacation, which when your kids get to be my kids' ages, you'll realize, and those of you out there who do have kids who are a little bit on the older side, it's hard to get together as a family. So I just got back from that, and I'm fresh and ready to go and excited to do this. So let's do it.
Well, grateful for you. Thanks for jumping on. Now, give us a quick overview for everybody listening and watching what you're doing on YouTube. How long have you been on YouTube? And then what your question is.
I've been on YouTube for far longer than one would think, given how many subscribers I have. But as most of us who started, I think I started back in 2011, maybe. I was a career and life coach, still am, and I really just wanted to do personal development videos. And I had no idea what I was doing. I just thought I'd just go on there and talk about various topics related to personal development because that's what I'm really passionate about. And then as I got further along in my business as a one-on-one life coach, I started realizing that most of the people, although I coach to anyone of all ages, all genders, I found that most of the people who are coming to me are women right around midlife. And I started realizing they have a lot of similar issues. And those were issues of transition. Life has a big change at around 45 or so. You're not the same person that you were at 25 in your career, sometimes, unfortunately, in your marriage, in the stage of life how old your kids are, and your mentality and your outlook has really changed too. So I decided to then get back into YouTube and do more having to do with, that's when I called it Thrive After 45. And then just on a personal level, I realized I was so annoyed by how little doctors and other healthcare practitioners knew, at least in my experience, about perimenopause, the years leading up to menopause. And I never intended to get on to YouTube and talk about that kind of thing. But in a moment of feeling just frustrated, I just decided to share my thoughts. And then I did it again and a couple more times after that. And I realized, wow, I opened some floodgates I had no idea people were so upset about. So I started getting a lot more watches, comments, likes, and followers and subscribers. And then I started realizing I need to learn more about this so I can do better videos, so I can help more people. And I'm at the point now where I really need to start monetizing it a little bit better. There are a lot of things I need to do better.
Well, I love the breakdown, and there's a lot of just nuggets from your story that we can all learn from. And so thank you for sharing, and happy birthday yesterday. I see that blowing up in the chat as well. So happy belated birthday.
Oh my goodness. Thank you so much. Yeah, it's a pretty big milestone. It's a little daunting because I don't know, last time I checked, I think it was about 42 or something. Suddenly you're like, wow, where'd the big 60 come from? I certainly don't feel it. But, I think in my mind where I really want to head in my channel is more into not just women's menopausal health, but health in general for this stage of my life and this stage of our lives. I know you're 20 years younger than I am. My gosh, you could be my son. But I have a lot to learn from you, and I have learned a ton from you. But I really think that over 40, you hit one level, and then 60 plus, I think is going to be, for me and for a lot of us, and especially those who've already been there, might attest, just a whole nother level. And I feel like 70 could look one way for me in 10 years, or 70 could look a completely different way for me in 10 years. And that doesn't mean you start at 60. It means you start at whatever age you are right now to make the next decade, the next 2 decades, as best as you can possibly have them. And I feel so strongly about this because I've seen way too many friends in their 50s die unexpectedly, out of nowhere. And so I'm really starting to lean in up on a personal level to what I realized, just found out, actually has a name called biohacking. And so that's where I really want to go next in my channel. And I'd love to get your take on that as well.
Yeah, there's a couple things. One, I just have a video idea for you because, happy birthday, happy 60th birthday.
Thank you.
Also, I think, playing to your strengths, I think everybody here would say, looking at your, let me get this video I'm looking for, but looking at you have anti-aging tips. You've got secrets that people need to know. And this video is titled Meet the 62-Year-Old Who's Aging Backwards. And so I think that even just packaging, and I'm speaking specifically to one of your strengths here, just in terms of maybe thumbnail, and I mean, you're probably not gonna title it this way, but if we look at this, thinking about, okay, anyways, for what it's worth, does that make sense? Like the idea of like tapping into, because now, and I think even the fact that your your channels thrive over 45, I think you can go, you probably could study your demographics, but I think even speaking to some, yes, 40s specific things or 45 specific titles, 50s and 60s, it's all kind of relevant under the brand. And I think that you'll be able to really reach people with that and really tapping into some of those things. And let's even.
Do you think that brand is too big of an age group? I picked 45, A, because it rhymes, a B, because.
No, it's great.
Okay.
And I wouldn't change your brand name. Their brand name is great. Thrive After 45. Again, a one-off video could help you get discovered as well. And so this, let's hop in. Today's video is brought to us, by vidiq.com/think. And, using the AI coach, we could say something like, what are some, viral video ideas for helping for anti-aging? I'm going to say, you probably would have typed this much yourself. I just turned 60. And I look super young. And I look super young. I've learned some tips and want to share them. So essentially, kind of getting now, let's see. So my top 10 anti-aging secrets revealed, daily routine for ageless skin. I like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 words.
I like
now,
that.
Then in the thumbnail, you might just have a good, a good photo of you, right? Like all your photos are good, but you get what I mean? Like a strategic photo of you with maybe an arrow that's like 60 years old. And it being like, shoot, because by the way, I added that guy's video to my watch list that now that I turned 40, and it was like, this guy's 62. And I'm like, what the heck are we talking about? What's he doing? Like, it just, using what you have, it just sort of, you package that promise. And it's not just the title daily skincare routine. It's that someone's like, shoot, you look like you just had your 50th birthday, if not younger than that. So like, I want to know the skincare routine. So then, anti-aging diet, what I eat to look 20 years younger. Whew, we're cooking inside of vidIQ here. Like these are just by, exercise routine to stay fit at 60, anti-aging makeup look 10 years younger. All of these then, of course, become hooks and ideas into your world. I know, you're in one of our higher level video ranking academy programs. So within monetization, we could talk about the conversation for another time. We're talking about front end content, getting views, attracting your ideal audience. And then it's, of course, where would you invite them to go next? And we've talked all about, lead magnets or email list or some other things. But what are your thoughts on these video ideas so far?
I love them. I love them. Okay, I'm embarrassed to say that even at 60, you sometimes worry about what people are going to think. And I cringe a little bit because I think, oh my gosh, that sounds so conceited. Like, this is what I eat to stay looking so incredibly good. Yeah. I mean, I cringe when I see other women doing that a little bit. And I'm not judging them. It's just my fear.
Yeah, you are. I'm just kidding. I mean, I'm not saying it's bad. That's super funny, but like we all make judgments. Not all judgment is bad. We make assessments, and I'm half joking with you, but like it's okay. Here's why I also cut you off with that joke is who cares? Like if you're going to be bold and get views and help people and reach people, you have to be willing to be misunderstood. And the simple fact that someone could call you conceited or misinterpret what you're saying, listen, you're on a mission. You want to help people get the results you've gotten and live the life and the discipline you've lived and share your advice and share your truth and share what has worked for you and actually help people. And
That's true.
That is just, and the nature of, it's the famous quote that is, if you never want any negative feedback, or you never want any negative feedback, just never say anything, do anything, or be anything. Never be successful, never actually work out and eat healthy and take care of your skin and get results, so that people can criticize the fact you did that. Of course, we can say by God's grace, there's genetic conversations about it, but there's a whole nother conversation about you didn't eat like crap, and you also have learned makeup skills, and you have taken care. So again, my simple point is like, your mission is much more important than the opposition.
Yeah. And you know, when I think about it, you're so absolutely right. Because when I think about it, why do I have that reaction, whether it's about myself or someone else saying, here's how to do what I did? I mean, Sean, that's what you do. And that's how you're so successful. One of the many ways you'll say, here's how I got 1 million subscribers in X number of months.
Just did it.
And by the way, not saying I'm so amazing.
And maybe I am saying that. What the interesting thing is, that would be a motive judgment, which is an appeal to motive fallacy, which is a cognitive bias that people make. Oh, he's arrogant, he's prideful, maybe he is, maybe he isn't. Bottom line is, it's transparent truth. Right. It's also good marketing and helpful to the view. Like, if someone's going to watch this video, and at the beginning, there's a really good question of like, why should I listen to you? You share your results. Right. So you like just not being afraid to share your results, be bold about it. I like to do my best to avoid, I like to avoid sounding arrogant, or to be thoughtful about the way things sound. But sometimes actually we can truncate our voice so much, and we can get so in overthinking and anxiety because we're just worrying about the millions of voices around us, instead of actually focusing on the people that we should help and the core message that we want to share again within us. Bottom line is, criticism is going to come either way. And so, and then we'll have Sam, I'm sure he has some tips for the channel, but you mentioned kind of going biohacking. I think you're also getting maybe too close to the problem. Like, biohacking is thrive over 45. Thrive, your brand's already great. Your niche is already great. It's thrive over 45. No, I just meant,
I didn't even know there was a name for it.
I gotcha.
I don't need to use the word biohacking in any platform or anything. I just didn't know that's
so, which is really good, because that is tapping into a trend in language and vernacular. But technically, maybe not all anti-aging, but anti-aging itself is biohacking.
Yeah.
But language-wise, therefore, you could make 5 videos with biohacking in the title, and you can make 5 videos with anti-aging in the title. It just shows why there's unlimited opportunity in this YouTube world. For everybody watching this, a lot of it is it's a skill gap, or we get so close to the problem. When we start like looking at the different angles and niching down into the different things we could share, there's just endless strategic videos you can make, again, that will attract your ideal audience. And this is also why I know, obviously, vidIQ is a sponsor, and I don't have to even hit it as hard as I'm hitting it. vidIQ.com/think, get a 1-day trial, 30 days, link in the description down below.
I do use vidIQ. I just didn't really even know how powerful it could be. So I always appreciate you showing us these things.
Yeah. That's my point too, is like, again, I'm like literally pumped about it, as opposed to just like, and today's sponsor that I have to talk about.
Right.
Because as you dive into the AI tools, or, you take something like this, like, watch my top 10 anti-aging secrets revealed. What's your favorite one here? Anti-aging diet, what I eat to look 20 years younger.
I really like daily skincare routine for ageless skin, because I like saying it's ageless better than the word anti-aging. Like, aging is a good thing.
So check out this generate tool. So you go over, you take that title, which came from the AI coach. I'm over in generate. I just hit one button. It gives me the keywords, tags for it, because it does tell me anti-aging, over 50, anti-aging skincare. Not that these tags are going to like rank your video or not, but it's now helping us plan out exactly kind of the niche and the angle. And by the way, some of the things you should say in your video. Hey, maybe like, if you're over 45, 50 shoots, I just turned 60. Like, you're hitting verbal language, you're resonating with what people are searching for. Skincare, I'm going to be talking about some. And then, okay, so it gives us achieve ageless skin with this daily skincare routine. I still like daily skincare routine for ageless skin, either one. I like the shorter one. It gave us just a different title, but then check this out. We click the little star and we could go change tone, add excitement, make longer. So now we're brainstorming, and you know the perfect video recipe. We're doing this before we press record. It gives us a description written out, which can just, again, is your description going to rank your video? No, but it's done. And
yeah, that's amazing. I haven't used this tool.
Especially for new creators. You want to reinforce your video with good metadata. So your video is indexable and findable and good content. It's the most important thing in thumbnail. But we're talking about copy paste. We're talking about this took 1 second and then boom, copy that, paste that over. Our whole tags are done for us. Copy those, paste those over. And then, by the way, I uploaded it lets you upload a picture of you. Not that that'll be the final thumbnail. The point is that it's going to brainstorm some thumbnails. So you go, okay, here's my shot composition. And with the pink one, right? I'm going to hold up a bottle. Maybe I'm going to put a question mark on it. We're just brainstorming. And then you recreate that thumbnail. It's not doing the full thumbnail for you. It's a brainstorm thing. And then check this out. Hook. Join me as I take this challenge. And then it gives us the hook, the introduction, presentation of problem and challenge, exploration and development. And you can export all of this. Now, again, the big idea here and generate the script is not that like it's done. The big idea is, you know how hard you just got back from the Paris Olympics, and you've been busy. And it's like, man, if I sit down at a blank page, it's hard to get the video going.
Yeah.
This generate tool just is like, boom. It's like, here's the whole outline for you. And then you just can tweak it, change some things and whatnot, bullet point it how you want. vidIQ is not a robot that makes videos for you. It's an assistant that comes alongside and helps you think, helps you develop ideas, helps you make small tweaks. And as we know, we talk about in VRA, small tweaks lead to giant peaks.
Right.
So we make these little tweaks, just getting our title right, maybe a different thumbnail design. Oh, I hadn't even thought about having a storytelling arc in my script in the outline of my video. So anyways, that was sort of a side quest, but I want to kick it to Sam. Sam, any insights on the channel? We want to get to Shereen here in a second on coaching. Plus we got Q&A coming in from our community. So Sam, what are you seeing on the channel?
No, this is looking really good, Rena, and welcome back. Good to see you. I wanted to say that as well.
I'm sure you're noticing a lot of differences. Talk about analyzing viral videos. Like I've got some videos lately that have, tens of thousands of views, and then others
hundreds of thousands on some of them.
So, well, and some I'm lucky to get like 500. So what gives, Sam?
What gives? That's, and that's the biggest question is what that is a very real question. What gives? But I think it's great that number one, you've got outliers like this, like the 107,000 views, part 2 of this one that you did before. And I know that we've talked about this, and I've seen you and Sean talk about that concept as well. And one of the biggest things that it keeps coming to mind is like, continue to experiment. I'm so glad that you got that keyword biohacking, that you're willing to go forward with that. The power of everything that you're seeing in vidIQ. And it's interesting because Sean and the rest of us coaches were talking yesterday about an experiment we did with some of his Q&A stuff that he did, Q&A in the car. And the experiment did not pan out quite as like numbers wise, analytics wise, quite what we expected, but the lessons learned from that and the ability for Sean to pivot and pivot the content and make better decisions. And so you're in a spot right now where I think that is part of the plan, is that, that it's not about big things is as much as you've got some of these larger videos that have come out, 20,000 views, 107, but it is these kind of small peaks at this time. So I do want to talk about the thumbnails because, and I'm knowing you're coming back from being on a long trip. And so these thumbnails feel kind of, they don't feel up to par, I guess, if I could say that. And I say that with all kindness, but I know that you can do better than these. So I feel like you can lean more into the topics and thinking through on the thumbnails. So this is one thing that I try to challenge people with is on the thumbnail, how can you create curiosity from the standpoint of two perspectives, where somebody is or where you hope to take them with the video, right? And so the imagery that balances between that, and even putting that into AI and thinking through, okay, what is the journey? And typically good thumbnails either meet somebody where they are, especially ones that are helping somebody with something like stop sugar cravings. Like you want to see an image of somebody that it resonates with you or where you want to be. And so the person that is healthy, fit beyond that, that typical craving. And so, and on this one, even I was thinking through the strategy of, we talk about trend surfing and talking about or being aware of different trends. And so I don't know what exactly you talk about in this video, but recently there was this story that came out. I want to say it was TikTok, and a single influencer got these weird peelable mango gummies from Walgreens, right? Crazy story, but all the Walgreens sold out of this candy. And so you're talking about gluttony, you're talking about sugar cravings, like that is a real world right now example. And so even pulling imagery like that into a thumbnail because of the familiarity bias of that particular story right now can help that the idea of what you're talking about and stopping sugar cravings to go even further. So that's might be getting a little bit meta there and maybe going a little bit over the top, but like that is the 1% betters, the next levels that on specifics that you can do with thumbnails.
Does that mean I really have to be paying attention to TikTok because I'm not?
That means that you have to pay attention to your industry. You're the industry experts, right? So I don't know. That's my take on it, but it's also cool to see you doing some collabs with some other students as well. Dr. Ann Trong on there.
Yeah, cool. We really bonded at the Growth Video Live in March, and that was a really, really fun one to do. And I look forward to doing more with her. I learned a lot in that interview, by the way. Despite all my research, I learned a lot from her. So that was a big win for me too. But in terms of the trying new things, as Sean was talking about before, and as you've alluded to also, Sam, experimenting, in my thumbnails, as you can see, I've experimented with AI imaging because I couldn't get the right look I was looking for in a picture. So, and sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. And same with titles. I just retitled, this is kind of funny. As Sean is doing the training in the beginning of this video, I was like, oh my God, the last title I just did on that interview with Anne Truong on male menopause, I realized, wow, it's not really all about male menopause, but I'm not going to change the thumbnail unless you tell me to, Sam, and I'm all ears. But I changed the title as Sean is training us because I realized, wait, this one is way too long. And I added the how-to and a whole bunch of other things that Sean said. Right, as I'm listening, I went in and changed it.
That's awesome.
So I'm hoping, we'll see, but I'm hoping it'll start to get more views. Maybe, who knows? We'll see.
Yeah. And go ahead, Sean.
Go for it.
It sounds like you're about to go. Okay. Well, on that particular one, because you did mention the thumbnail, and I think one of the things that I thought through is I know who Dr. Ann is. I don't know. Again, male menopause, is that the entire conversation? You just said it's not. And so thinking through, because people may not know who she is, people may not know who you are, is there some better imagery that would work with that? And so if the idea of the video is how to support your spouse, your male spouse through whatever midlife crisis or menopause or whatever you want to call that, maybe the image of a man with a woman supporting behind. So kind of like rule of threes, what is the focus point? So is the focus point the man and his problems, and then the secondary imagery then would be the female support, and then that's where your topic comes in and is helping the female audience, because I assume that your audience is mainly female. That's who you're targeting. And so thinking
I put Dr. Ann on because I wanted people to know that, add credibility and show that we're having a doctor on.
For sure.
It's not just because I'm not one.
No, and I love that. I love that. You could absolutely have that familiarity bias, and you can have that authority even in the title of speaking to doctor explains how to support your man through menopause or something like that. So I'm questioning the thumbnail. Is it right or wrong? I mean, that's one of those questions that forever will ask about thumbnails. Like, I don't think there is a necessarily right answer, but there are best practices, right? And
Okay.
so thinking through, who am I actually trying to reach with this message? What is the overall topic that I can pull out? Or is there a main point that really resonates with the type of person that wants to watch this video? And then thinking through, with the help of AI, obviously is always a good one, but how can I help that to resonate through imagery with the audience and get them to stop the scroll and click? So
Gotcha. Okay. Thank you so much. Appreciate that.
Rena, did you get some value out of the conversation today?
Absolutely. From both of you. Thank you. I really, really
Well,
appreciate it.
did you also did you know about our October event?
I don't think I did. I've been
Okay.
away too long, not been paying attention. 3 weeks
It's
is a long time.
it's a part of Accelerator. There'll be other ways. You're an elite, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So there'll be we'll have some information, and we're close to the date. I think it's October 11th, but there's going to be like a small deep dive YouTube workshop. Like max 100 people, probably be about 70 people. Going to be really fun. Green Valley
Nice.
Ranch. So anyways, we'll get you info, but I just didn't know if that hit your radar yet. If we haven't actually sent it out, then how would it have? Plus you were at the Olympics. And so anyways, but appreciate you. Thank you so much for jumping on Coffee with Cannell today.
Thanks for having me. Really
All right.
appreciate you guys.
Take care. All right, Coffee with Cannell. Listen, we're going to bring Shereen on. Thank you, Shereen, for your patience. And smash like, though, if you gently hit the like button, if you've been getting value out of today's conversation. I'm going to get to your questions in just a second. I see a few of your questions coming in, and the best way to get your text question answered is 4 question marks before and after the question. Now, StreamYard should be able to pull in X. I don't know, how well these videos distribute over on Twitter or LinkedIn, but if you're watching, thanks for being here. Throw those question marks before and after your question, and we're going to get to those in a second. And also, whatever platform, if you hit the like button or share it out, that would mean the world, because we're going to keep talking about YouTube and go pretty deep. I want to thank Levite Apparel for the $1 super chat earlier, and would also love to ask you what has been your biggest aha moment from the last hour, because we did our opening training with the 5 lessons. And we've also then just went through that coaching call with Rena, and we're action takers here at Think Media. We don't just want information. We want implementation, to take what we're learning and go apply it to our channels so we can make a difference in people's lives and also build significant incomes so we have money for the mission. So what do you need to improve on? What's been a takeaway? What's been one of your biggest insights? What do you need to do next on your channel? Let me know in the chat. And I want to welcome Shereen on to the Coffee with Cannell show. How's it going?
Hi, Sean. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for jumping on. And it's awesome to, I believe, get to connect with you maybe for the first time.
We met at the previous event.
At Las Vegas earlier this year?
Yes.
Oh, well, thank you so much for, it's good to meet you again and to be hanging out here. And thanks so much for jumping on. I see your channel, The King's Daughter. Do you want to give us all a little bit of a background of when you started, what you're doing on YouTube, and the vision?
Sure, but I want to tell you I'm drinking coffee too.
Oh, what kind of coffee? Black?
Oh,
you got cream in there?
I have it. I have some cream, but I got this, my favorite ever. So,
dude, shout out to people who've got the coffee on their desk. You know what I mean? Like, come on, let's go. And do you grind your beans every time before you brew?
I do. I learned that from you.
Oh, come on.
One time you kept talking about it. I was like, let me try this.
This is
and
the
it was
Coffee with Cannell show.
Yes.
Yes. Cheers. Okay. Tell us about The King's Daughter and what you're up to.
Okay. So, again, everybody know my name is Shereen, and I live in Florida, but my background, I'm Egyptian. And in my heart, I wanted to serve women in Egypt, especially those who have gone through abuse, any kind of abuse. I myself have been through a lot of abuse. So, and I know in the Middle East, like, this is the elephant in the room. Like, no one talks about it. It's kind of shameful to talk about it. And there's so many women that suffer silently, and young girls, and I'm sure men too, but my focus are in women. So, so my passion is to help as many women as I could. And since I don't like to be in the camera, I also have some language barriers. Like, I'm not perfect in English and I'm not perfect in Arabic. Like, I lived half of my life here and half of the other life there. So I'm very like, I have like a lot of challenges when it comes to the language. But I started with a prayer channel, The King's Daughter. And actually, Sam helped me a lot in putting the name together and everything. It's a faceless channel. And like, I really work really, really hard. Because at this point, I don't know if I should continue in English. Shall I start a new one in Arabic? Like, I'm in a place where I need like direction as far as how to do or what to do.
Well, love what you're doing, and thank you for sharing some of your story and your background. And excited to dive into this. And then Sam will pull up. I'm glad you've been working with Sam, and so in just a second, we'll have him kind of catch up with some maybe thumbnails and topics. A couple things. So just to be clear, Faceless channel, your voiceover though in English?
Yeah. But I use some AI tools because at the beginning I didn't even have a microphone. I still don't have a camera. Like, I started as like homemade videos. So it's funny how I started.
And then you're writing out the prayers?
I do.
Okay, so they're like your original prayers, your original content.
Right.
I mean, the first thing I would break down would be a couple of just best practices that I see in content like this. One, search-based content. Interestingly enough, there are certain things, and I just had this happen the other day. Like, because of my own biblical knowledge and faith, I was wanting some like prayer meditation content, specifically about the prayer of Jabez. I was aware of what that was. And so I went to the YouTube search bar and I said, prayer of Jabez. I think I said meditation. Search. You can see the red complete line for this 11-minute video, guided Bible meditation. And also very specific. I mean, it only has 1,000 views, so this isn't a viral video. This one has 24,000 views, which is pretty great because if you do that enough times. So I guess the point is, and then if you add some best practices and some other things, just a reminder that search-based content or like audience desire content, I'm sure you're doing that. Let me check. That could be a specific, there are certain like well-known Psalm 23. Now, there's also going to be a lot of competition for some of those, like Psalm 23, probably the biggest one. Like, there's going to be a lot of Psalm 23 content, but that's, going to be really broad. I think as I look at this, these are great titles and great topics. Healing prayer is great. So the other thing I think about, though, is anxiety. I think about those different desires. And I might be doing a lot of repetition with you here, but I always like to go back to the fundamentals, like prayer for healing, financial breakthrough, purpose, protection. So just think about, these are the things that people are wanting prayers for the most. I think that there's also, you really have two angles you can go, because the meditation angle is not a lot. It is different, but it's not a lot different than the prayer. Like, I was like the prayer of Jabez meditation was just calming music and scripture being read with, some others. So just, I guess it's understanding audiences in terms of, they might be looking kind of on the meditation angle. I know that perhaps we could even get into, well, it's not a meditation, or there's difference between Christian meditation and others, but just intent. Like, how do we understand? And then getting content that's in front of, that's attracting or being searched for or looked for by different audiences. Number two is video length. I think there's something about, well, here's a big principle that everyone can take away on the show today. If appropriate for the nature of the content that you're creating, longer is better, in my opinion, on YouTube. Not longer for longer's sake, but longer is better. And the reason is this. It's pretty simple. Minutes matter most, and YouTube wants people on YouTube for as long as possible. So this is why, Christmas fireplace can get a lot of money, and not Christian fireplace, Christmas, because it's just a 2-hour video of a background that people put up during the holidays. What's the point though? 8-hour video of a crackling fireplace. Someone starts that, they play it their entire day in their living room. Somebody watching the Coffee with Cannell show is like, man, I need to be thinking different about my content. Don't you wish too you uploaded like the original? So, okay. So saying that, but if we go back to like, now this is going to be hard because you might be like, how am I going to write an 8-hour prayer? I'm just talking about best practices. So we go like prayer.
I can pray from now till Jesus come. Like have tons of
so
prayers.
Let's do it,
and but here's the thing, Sean. I want to do the transition. I wanted to start to be talking to my audience instead of just putting prayers. But I don't know if I should do that transition or not. Should I speak in Arabic or English? Because I want to put out like awareness, what to do, how can you be healed through God's power and overcome the abuse, all the specific stuff. So I don't know if I should continue prayers or.
I see. So this gets into a strategy conversation that we can unpack. You have already built 1,500 subscribers. Great job. With a consistent form of content. And sometimes I think my answer is yes to like all three strategies that I'm hearing, but not all three strategies combined. So I think it's making a decision of what do you want to do today? What is your vision for tomorrow? What is the best path to get there? And the mistake is that you're building momentum, I think, in a really cool way. I think, meaning this, we make a promise on our YouTube channel, peaceful music, prayers, an experience, a connection with you. And I think what could evolve is, it kind of makes me think like I have done some like yoga for snowboarding. And the 15 minutes of the video is me following along of a tutorial and actually like getting ready. So I'm all stretched out. But the last 90 seconds of like yoga with Adrian or somebody is a connection point of like, so thank you for watching. If you like tutorials like this, my vision is to help you be healthy. And so if you subscribe, so I think but Yoga with Adrian has made a promise. It's like yoga tutorials. And I would argue actually, if she pivoted and she's got a big following, so she could probably do almost anything and it would look kind of successful. But people would be like, wait, why are you now talking about like, let's say emotional healing? Now, maybe at the end or partway through, as she's breathing, she might say, what's powerful is yoga is not just physically helpful, but like emotionally. So, but the key is like really getting clear on the core promise of your channel. I think the branding of the King's Daughter, and you've said it right here. I mean, the motivation and prayers, I think it's great. Now, you describing to me that what you've been through and abuse, your story, there's part of me that even as we just talk is like, that needs to be shared. That also, I think, could very much be, your greatest impact, your greatest legacy. And I think that, like, I kind of feel that, like, even, maybe it's a God nudge. So then the question becomes, are you going to go a direction of getting clear on a new, if you will, I think what you would need is a new branding, a new strategy. And of course, Sam can walk you through that. And because it's also a one-off story video for anybody watching this too, I think would be incomplete. It might even go viral, but then the question is like, what do I do next? Not that it could easily go viral, but I just mean like, it might like, wow, I want to hear more from you. And then of course you could figure it out, but it's like, okay, where is that going? Like, what's the whole, and And you mentioned, this is something I don't, understand, and you do very well. You talk about, you're speaking to a certain culture. You're talking about wanting to help other Egyptian women, or you're wanting to speak into, and there's aspects of shame. Here's my thing is like, when you get vulnerable and get super bold, and you boldly share your story, and you boldly share your value, and you also have good marketing and branding around it, there's no doubt about it. No, there's the unlock. There's hundreds of thousands of women that would resonate.
I know.
That's what it is.
There
are people that would be set free, and a lot of people that are afraid of speaking up. See, the internet is like tearing down these walls that have kept people bound. It's the democratization. We have seen oppressive regimes start losing their power because the voice has been put into the power into the people's hands, because we can start YouTube channels. And depending on where you live, what sometimes, communism in different places actually suppresses YouTube and other things. But for ultimately the ability to share your voice, to me, there's just a lot of power on that. There's a lot of opportunity on that. But, and that could very much be, it's almost like a personal development, self-help career. It's a self-help. I'm making it very niche, but I think it's important to get clear. Like someday you write a memoir, someday you write a book, someday you do a TED Talk, someday you're a public speaker. And even having those simple, maybe it's not, doesn't have to be that exact thing, but that starts giving us a map. Okay, like that would be kind of what it is. I just got on YouTube. I started sharing my story. And so then my question would be, can you come up with 50 topics, 50 video ideas, and can you go through Niche Finder again, or for the first time in the members area of Video Ranking Academy, and work through that with your coach and really, because by the way, you also could just press record and do it. But I think that's that's having kind of at least some level of a plan. You don't have to overthink it or spend all your time in planning, because sharing your story is good, but building a brand and a business around it. And I might even sound funny to say business, but that's where, that in our coaching, that's where we're going to take it, because it's money for the mission. It's okay. I want to liberate women. Purpose-driven creators are who we help. So it's like, that's okay. And then how though would I do that though in such a way? And so to me, the final thing, and we could get into some tactics, is that I think both are great. And I think that we should be urgently pursuing our goals and dreams. But sometimes maybe this prayer and motivation channel is practice. It's helping you practice your voice. It's helping you practice speak. It's helping you practice content. It is practical. It could be something that could grow. And by the way, it also could probably pivot to 100% AI or a hybrid. It's a sustainable model. And it's a great thing. Like, I love what you're doing here. And I love this other idea as well. In my opinion, you still could pivot this channel to that. It's not too late. If you're like, I just don't have any passion at all for this other thing.
I do.
So if you do,
yeah,
then it's like, maybe you start the second channel eventually, but I might not rush to that. And I love this. I love that you said it is practice, because practice, that's kind of what I mean, is like, sometimes God gives us a vision and we get this God dream and we get this picture. Even the nature of like prophecy, kind of, New Testament prophecy, is that sometimes it's like we're almost like seeing, God is giving us pictures of our future in dreams and visions even. I mean, I will pour out my spirit upon all flesh in the last days right now. And your young men will see visions, your old men will dream dreams, and we'll dream again. Sometimes if we've lost, by that. So those encounters with the Holy Spirit, we're praying. Sometimes we get visions and dreams and we're like, okay, God, isn't that tomorrow then? Like, I woke up and I didn't see the viral TED Talk, because actually we're getting a picture of the next 5 to 10 years. We're getting a picture, and then it gets into that principle of, in Proverbs, it says, they who work their land will have an abundance of food. Mm-hmm. And it gets back to like, we reap what we sow. We got to plant seeds. Right. And the law of sowing and reaping. So then it's also, okay, I got to work my land. I got to work my skills. I got to work on YouTube. I'm going to use this season in this channel. I'm learning things. And I love this aspect of you practicing, you getting your voice, you writing a lot, you writing prayers and writing even long prayers and writing motivations. We someday want to write a best-selling book. And you go, and they're like, oh my gosh, your first book was a New York Times bestseller. And you're like, yeah, I mean, for 5 years, I wrote every single week for my YouTube channel. And I wrote inspirational essays and prayers. And I wrote these motivations. And I saw which ones resonated. And those all became the practice, but the content that was in eventually my bestseller. So you're like, well, how'd your first books do so good? Well, it's like, well, you didn't see the 5 to 10 years of the roots going down beneath the surface before it started to spring forth. And all of a sudden everyone's like, well, Shereen, she's an overnight success. You're like, yeah, besides the 10 years of pain and challenge of like building up and learning and patience. So I'm going to bring Sam on, but how does that resonate with you? And any follow-up questions on this idea of this King's Daughters motivation and prayer channel is great. I love it. I think we can refine it, improve it, some search-based intent. We use even some vidIQ, packaging. The videos are improving. A third tip was also some of them had, rain, the desire. Maybe it's sleep. So sometimes even it's like the practical desire. How good's the soundtrack? Do people also want the bird noise, the sound effects? Do they want the 8 hours? How could you create that content? Longer is better. That's how you get that viral video, maybe because it's not 9 minutes, it's 4 hours because people do it. But it gets so much watch time that eventually you have a breakout video. We can help you and continue to help you with the best practices for building out the King's Daughter channel with prayers and motivation, faceless. And I think eventually, not only eventually, like just when you're comfortable or as you evolve, I think incorporating your face into it is an option. It's entirely up to you. Bottom line, it's hard enough to build one YouTube channel. That YouTube channel is something to develop and grow. And you said you still have a passion for it, but then you also feel this thing over here. To me, is two different things. I think that in the next few years, maybe even 5 to 10 years, starting I have multiple things, but I didn't do them all at once. Actually, the big mistake early on in my career is I did do them all at once, and I was stressed out, and my family suffered, and I suffered. Like now, I got the two main channels, Think Media and Think Media Podcast. There's 31 W-2 employees at Think Media, 10 plus contractors. It's a different season than trying to do multiple channels when you're just starting. So I've said a lot. What is your thoughts though, as far as how this resonates? And what resonates most with your heart as far as what you think your next steps would be? This other channel idea, sticking with this one for a while as practice. What's your feedback?
I think everything you said is I'm going to go back and study it, because you started with 3 points that I didn't have a chance to write them down, but this is exactly what I need to do. And you said it's a season, and in where I am right now, I feel like I'm in that waiting season. Like I want to do everything to the point that I'm stressing myself, and I need a strategy. I need to, like what you said, focus. Like 2 months ago, I would never be in video, like never. But 2 weeks ago, I decided something happened in Egypt. It was like some abusive act. And with my pajama, with no makeup on, I pressed record, like what you usually say. I told my daughter, just give me, I didn't prepare a thing. And this video went viral. It was a 3 minutes video. I put it on TikTok, which I don't even know how to use it. My daughter did. And I had like over 16,000 views. And I have tons of women send me questions like, we are going through this. What should we do? I was like, well, I am not prepared right now to help all these women, but I promised to put another one. And it was in Arabic. So now I feel like there's need, but also am I prepared? Like you see, like I can't determine, like I need to focus, of course, but I'm all over the place.
I think Sam also might have lost his connection, so we can kind of land the plane with this. Maybe he'll come back, but as far as on the channel, but you also just had another unlock here for me, and that's this. And it also, on the journey, you might be able to honor your conviction, still have a strategic YouTube channel, and not mix your branding or your messaging, and still, I think, be disciplined with your time and energy. and you just brought it up, which this is a huge unlock for our Coffee with Cannell community. It is okay to be on multiple platforms and to have different brands on different platforms. So I think that sometimes platforms can be a distraction, multiple platforms. I think it could be wise to like have a YouTube channel and then you're also building your influence on TikTok. I would say, for example, my strategy is I just talk about YouTube everywhere. Wrote YouTube Secrets with my friend Benji. You know that. So it's like I talk about YouTube on TikTok. I talk about YouTube on LinkedIn, you know. But the King's Daughter is a brand. It's a business. It's a ministry. Okay. So and you actually have momentum here, and this happens to a lot of people. You want to stay patient. I think there's something, it takes time to get the flywheel going. The King's Daughter YouTube channel, you don't ever have to have an Instagram or a TikTok. It can just be a great YouTube channel. There's actually too many people, I think, that are getting distracted with social media and trying to be like, well, I've got a certain YouTube channel, so I need to be like on every platform. No, you don't. In fact, I'm on a social media fast right now as I'm live streaming. Like I deleted, by social media, I didn't delete YouTube. I deleted Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, X from my phone. And I will engage desktop, and I work in social media. So during the week, I'll do some stuff, but I haven't all of August. And I didn't delete YouTube though, mainly for consumption, meaning and like less creation or scrolling, but like listening to podcasts and YouTube Studio. It doesn't matter. Here's the big point. You know what's been interesting? It's been one of the greatest months of my life for my YouTube channel. My mind was just like, man, I'm everywhere. It forced me not to go anywhere else. I also, you know what I open up out of like compulsion? Now I just open up YouTube Studio because I got nothing else to look at. I open up YouTube and YouTube Studio. But actually, like it just sort of helped me do less. Like it helped me do less and focus. I'm getting somewhere with this. It applies to what you're saying. But like, I want to encourage Coffee with Cannell community. There's something about, you don't have to be on all the social media platforms, and you don't have to like also cut out your vertical videos and post them elsewhere. Like there's something about being hyper focused on YouTube, and by being on a social media fast, it's been so I feel like by more margin is giving me better ideas, more calm. I just posted a video yesterday on Think Media that is crushing. It's like I feel like I'm in a new season of creativity. Half of that is by creating some space, by deleting some apps off my phone. I did not delete the platforms. And somebody's like, Sean, I've been seeing you post on Instagram. Tyler is posting my vertical videos. Okay. But I'm not in the DMs. I'm not seeing that stuff. That has helped me. Now, let me speak to you though. You are convicted about what was happening, and you got on TikTok and you talked about it. Mm-hmm. Those things are not in conflict to me. I think you could go and you said Arabic.
Yeah, I put it in Arabic.
So that's, by the way, do not mix languages on this channel. You've already started in English. It's in English. Stay in English. You could start another channel in another language, but you don't want the two different languages on the one channel, confuse the algorithm. But I wouldn't start another channel. It's hard enough to build the English one. But there might be something to simultaneously it might sound funny to be a viral TikToker. TikTok happens to be a platform that necessitates exactly what you're talking about. And number one, you can do whatever you want with your time during the day, as we all can, based on the time you have. But number two, there's no reason why you couldn't build the King's Daughter YouTube channel while also have a Arabic, like just speaking in that language, speaking from the heart, ranting when you feel like it, sharing personal brands, engaging in the community, and building up a Shereen TikTok, and even not even necessarily having like, maybe I think it's smart to think through. You put in the bio and you're like, kind of maybe have a mission to it. We'd always talk, a mission statement, a tagline, like, passionate about seeing freedom for women in Egypt, like whatever, you might say, it doesn't even have to be that. You might just use something, but you just kind of know what you're doing there. And I hope we could formulate this here, that those two audiences would probably never know each other. And I think that's the mistake that people make. One of the awesome creators that have been a part of our community in the past was Heather Torres. And she was a Think Media creator. So she's talking about YouTube, but she had a homeschool channel, but she was also kind of confused about, what do I do on Instagram Do I talk about homeschool or do I talk about YouTube? Do I build my, and what can happen is though, we also start thinking like, well, I have to talk about homeschool on my Instagram. No, you don't. You actually could, like, you know, again, it's just your own, you get to architect your own personal brand. Your TikTok could just be a place where you share a particular type of, and you just have to know they probably won't grow each other. That's the key. If a Think Media creator's Instagram was all about tech and YouTube, and actually all of our coaches like have their own channels. And so chances are the stuff they do here on Coffee with Cannell and whatnot, like the audiences don't cross over at all. What they do on their personal channel, if it's about graphic design or like, and so you could even have different YouTube, of course, channels, but I think the point is clear that you also continuing to share, not keep it pent up. And I think it's good you'd be following that because you said conviction. That's a key word, or I said conviction.
You said conviction. I love it. I love it. It resonated with me so
you heard
much.
something happen and you had to share, and you needed that outlet, but you're like, I don't actually think it would fit here. You could do it here. It might have even have gone viral here. It might have taken the channel in the new direction, but it would have just taken your channel off brand. You know, it would have taken it. So if you keep it, you know, it's kind of like if well, Chick-fil-A is kind of known for doing this, but like Chick-fil-A, you know, and maybe they're pretty bold about their values, but if you go into the Chick-fil-A restaurant, you're there to buy chicken and get your Polynesian sauce and get your spicy chicken like I would, because I want the pickles on there. That's the one I'm going to go for. And you're going to sit down. It would be weird if someone got on the microphone and all of a sudden was like, you know how I feel about this current election? You know, the manager's like, hey, I hope you guys are enjoying your sandwiches, but do you know how, and even though we know that Chick-fil-A's even causes some level of controversy because of their conservative values, and perhaps the personal brand of the CEO might say something or whatnot, if you're in Chick-fil-A, you need to serve up chicken, and that's what people are expecting. And there's also a lot of people who stay outside of the vitriol of all things, and they're like, listen, I'm just sad Chick-fil-A is closed on Sunday. I don't care what their values are. I want the chicken. And I'm not even wrapped into that stuff. So King's daughter should just keep serving up the chicken if you are passionate about this brand, and keep it chicken only. But I think on TikTok or somewhere else, it becomes this outlet, and that might turn into something as well. And then it's also just a matter of budgeting time. So I feel okay with that. And I feel like it also helped both things. And I love this principle, the law of growth. There's a good book by John Maxwell. It talks about the laws of growth. Drea, we should put that in the chat. One of my favorite books, Laws of Growth. But there's also another really great book by Dan Sullivan. So this is called The 15 Invaluable Laws of Growth. And then
it's a great book. I read it.
Yes. You are my favorite. She's reading John Maxwell, drinking coffee, grinding her own beans.
Yeah. Love chicken, Chick-fil-A.
Chick-fil-A. So the laws of lifetime growth is amazing. Mm-hmm. And here's the big idea. Wow. Okay. So the big idea is make your future bigger than your past. You'll love this one as well. Definitely different than the other one. There's 10 laws in here. Mm-hmm. Is that just a commitment to growth? When we value growth more than money, when we value growth more than views, when we value growth more than how quickly we reach our dreams, we just get up and we're committed to growth. Mm-hmm. And you're going to become a better speaker and a better writer on The King's Daughter. And you're going to refine your message for justice as you raise your voice on TikTok. And you're going to get ideas along the way. And as you continue to then steward the growth, the commitment to just growth, and a lot of what we're talking about here is personal growth, self-development, the more so focused on the inner work that, like, when I'm transformed internally and when I grow more skills and when I become a bigger person and my vision grows and my skill set grows, then from the inside out, the byproduct is maybe you're a viral sensation on TikTok and being asked to come on media to speak about your opinions about what's happening in geopolitics and different, all because you just, when you felt it, you hit record and you posted that video. And then you also committed to a YouTube channel. And that's what I love about The King's Daughter is and all of our channels, for everybody watching this, we're all so obsessed about getting to 1,000 subscribers. We're here. We're going to help you do that. We're so obsessed about these external metrics. Let's focus on just, man, my YouTube channel is an opportunity for me to just personally grow, to practice, to be a better communicator, better speaker, better marketer, better titles, better thumbnails, design, learning things. Because when I commit to the laws of lifetime growth, then it's like you're going to be ready to slay Goliath in 5 years when he shows up, because you were faithful with, well, I fought the lion and I fought the bear, and now maybe it's in 6 months, maybe it's in 6 years, your commitment to the growth of your skills and of your mindset and of your character and of your communication powerfully positions you for the things God wants to do next in your story.
Amen to that. Thank you so much.
Has this been a good conversation? I mean, we went deep there. Sam's sitting over here. We lost his internet connection, but he's back. Sam, do you have any takeaways on the channel now? And I know you guys have done coaching already a little bit. So
yeah, this feels like a continuation of kind of a conversation that started a couple weeks ago, right? And so I'm glad it went down this path. That word growth is exactly where my head was going. And so how can we use The King's Daughter as the shortest path to consistency, to growth, to continuing down that path so that you can get to, you know, all the other things that it seems like the Lord's pulling you to. I think it's great. And I know this isn't a VRA only stream. Like we're going out to the podcast channel. So if you're not in VRA, I'm sorry, but Shereen, you are in VRA. So you have access to all the incredible tools, Niche Finder. You know, what Sean just described, that whole process is literally the first 2 R's, right? So reverse engineer, do a little bit of research, and it's amazing to me because I think sometimes there's this misconception that, like, as the Think team with personal channels, and even Sean's got his name on everything, right? And it's like, oh well, they've got it all figured out. And but the real reality is that we're just continuing to implement all of these things that create clarity, and doing it on a consistent basis, and just putting in the effort to do it. And so looking at your channel really quick, and let me get my screen share back. Yeah, my internet dropped. So if I drop again, I apologize. But there we go. I think I'm good. I mean, I was just kind of looking around, and you started this channel December 6, 2023. You're about that's about 9 months in. And I think you've kind of been hanging around with the elite crowd for about that same amount of time. And so less than a year in, like this is the perfect conversation to talk about clarity. Can we talk about thumbnails, titles, all that other stuff? Absolutely. Is that as important as just the mindset conversation of clarity and growth? Probably not. I think some of your thumbnails they're pretty good. They're doing okay. There is a tool that happens to be another vidIQ tool. And so if you go to vidiq.com/thumbnail-feedback, and Dre, I don't know if we can get that in the chat, but this is a free tool to everybody. And it will analyze your thumbnails. And I just did one really quick on yours, got an 82 overall score. But it gives you kind of some of the things that I was thinking about. The thumbnails are okay, but there's room for improvement in a lot of spaces. So I won't go through the time of kind of reading all this feedback, and it's pretty small anyway. There we go. Emotional triggers, great. Thumbnail effectively evokes emotion. Topic match is decent. Because what you can do is just use your link from your video that's uploaded, and so it will show relevance to the title and kind of the overall concept. So this is a cool tool that you might want to kind of put under your belt as you're continuing to level up. The other thing that I did, John, really quick, is I just did a quick Google search, or not Google, but YouTube search for biblical meditation. And as you're growing, I was thinking through Like, what is the shortest path to growth, to consistency, to getting in, just getting in the reps? And so all of this stuff is kind of relevant. And I love that it continues to go deeper. So biblical meditation is pretty broad, but for sleep, for anxiety, biblical meditation music, biblical meditation scriptures, and kind of even speaking into what Sean was saying about the length of the videos. And so there's a lot of good content here. One for anxiety and stress, 6 minutes. But then there's one that I found that I watched it. Where did it go? There we go. The Promises of God, Bible Verses for Sleep. It is an 8-hour long video of just the promises of God. And you can see here, I'm pretty sure I turned it on one night and fell asleep to it because it continued to play for 2.5 hours just in my head. Before, I don't know, I shut my phone off or whatever happened, but this is the exact kind of stuff that this is, to me, kind of low-hanging fruit. Is it hard to probably export and upload an 8-hour long video? That might take some computing processing, right? But to make that is just the promises of God. It's literally just scripture. And so how can you make this easy on yourself to continue to grow and then get yourself to a position where that other channel starts to make more sense, I think is where my head was going. But Sean, I'll kick it back to you, my man.
Oh, Sam, such gems. Shereen, what's been your takeaway today?
Well, it's so beautiful what Sam just said. And I have to tell you, Sean, Think Media Group is like my family now. They are really my brothers and sisters. I have hard time thinking that at some point I'm gonna leave, which I'm not planning to, as long as my husband can pay the bill. But seriously, they are my family. Like when I don't see them for a week, if I'm traveling or sick or whatever, I miss them. So great job. Thank you, Sam. Everyone. Thank you, Sean, too. And yes, growth. I took the growth, conviction, and while I'm doing my growth, I also serve, because there's people who actually very committed. The minute I post a video, they send me like thank you and comments on it, which keeps me going, because when I see only like 10 views, God always remind me it's the audience of one. Even if I'm touching one person, that is serving one person. So, but thank you so much for today.
Shereen, grateful for you. Thank you so much for your kind words, and thank you for being a part of our community. Thank you, Sam, for all your wisdom. We have a lot of questions to answer here, and we're an hour and 42 minutes into the Coffee with Cannell show. Shereen had some coffee. What are you drinking? I'm sipping on my Say coffee. We have a single origin Kenya blend here. For everybody asking, there's all the notes. There's the altitude, the transparency, and the cost. Like people are like, can you tell me the harvest date and the altitude and the region and the varietal? Okay. Listen, we have 7 questions that have come in. And if you're just joining on the replay at the beginning, I talked about 5 lessons from over 41 videos that myself and the Think Media team have posted that have gotten over 1 million views. So you're definitely going to want to save this video to watch that. There's been a lot of nuggets and gems, and then time codes and chapters will be here later so you can navigate around. Also recommended a couple really good books. The Law of Lifetime Growth is a lesser known book that is so great, as well as John Maxwell's 15 Invaluable Laws of Growth. It's August. This is also the summer slump, y'all. If you feel like my views are down a little bit or things are happening, like it's August. People are other places. I'm grateful you're here. Where are you? Are you hiking right now? Are you outside? Are you working? What are you doing? Like, how are you here at 11:51 Pacific Standard Time, my time? And so I want to encourage you, a lot of different things that happen online. August is, people are doing different things. And as back to school happens, viewing patterns happen. And then Q4 also, I know we're in all different regions, but here in the Northwest, like if it's sunny and there's light at all, people go outside. And then the other 10 months of the year, they don't. So it's like viewer behavior and different things can change. I just want to encourage you. That's why consistency, not just over a week or a month, but over a year and over years is important, because YouTube goes through cycles, viewer behavior goes through cycles. And let me know where you're watching, what you're up to. Jerry Cherry Band Italian espresso beans from the Puerto Rican export on Bleecker Street, North Carolina, New York City. Appreciate it. I love the detail in our coffee choice. Hey, missed you when you were up here in Seattle. I think Seattle's pretty cool. Carmen's Plumbing. So awesome. Love that. Thank you so much for being here. I'm coming up on your question here in just a second, Carmen. And if you need any resources, you can check out show notes in the description down below, some of the books, things like that. You know, by the way, as well, you might have you heard from Shereen, you heard from Rena earlier. If you are interested in any of our programs, if you go to vrapodcast.com, it's a good place to start. And that's not for everybody, but that is the gateway into our main program right now, which is called Video Ranking Academy. There's some cool bonuses included with it. We do have, I'm so bullish on AI right now. We have our AI guide, our YouTube Shorts Masterclass, our niche finder course. If you think you would benefit from this conversation of getting fierce clarity about your strengths, your vision, what YouTube channel you should, the topic, the theme, and the niche of your channel, that niche finder course is just part of this bundle. Our YouTube starter kit, as well as Video Ranking Academy, Camera Confidence. Anyways, if you want to check that out, that's at vrapodcast.com. It's a monthly membership that we have. And if you love stuff like this and you want to go deeper with us, check out the link in the description, or just go to the letters VRA. That stands for Video Ranking Academy. So it's vrapodcast.com, and you can check that out. Now questions are coming in, and here we go. Swedish car guy. Always got to send massive love. I see a lot of people in our community that are consistently on shows. Swedish car guy has been a roll dog for years, and I appreciate you being a part of our community. Which strategy would you recommend? I've doubled down a lot and it's really helped. Should I try the ones vidIQ recommended or play it safe? Oh man. Can we get the question before the question? Can you hit the question again? Because I don't know what strategies you've doubled down a lot, and you vidIQ or play it safe. Let me know, or maybe rephrase it, because I'm not sure which two strategies we're comparing against. Coach Lady Shawls. Sean, what advice do you have for someone who's trying to inspire and motivate and take back joy, peace, and happiness for women? My encouragement is, I'm going to apply this to YouTube. It feels like an open-ended question somewhat, so I'm going to apply it to YouTube, and I'm going to give you my honest thoughts. I think that general self-development content on YouTube is too saturated and hard to break through. Number one. So meaning there's a lot of people that want to inspire and motivate women, or want to put out content that's going to help people, which is amazing. And by the way, I think it's a great mission. It could be a fundamental driver. It could be the core value. It could be a purpose that fuels you and pushes you to keep going and not quit. But here's what I think. I think that one of the best ways to accomplish a general mission of inspiring and motivating is by identifying a specific niche that allows you to stand out in the sea of sameness. So here's let me just use what comes to mind is myself. Now, I'm going to rhetorically ask, what comes to mind is myself. What comes to mind? Let me use myself as an example. Let me know in the chat, no matter where you're watching, if you've ever felt inspired or motivated by a Think Media video or a live stream like this, or a Coffee with Cannell show. Just type yes if you've ever felt inspired or motivated, if you've ever laughed, if you've ever watched the video and been happier after? Just type yes if that's at all influenced you at any given time. Patiently waits and is worried that, okay. So here we go. So we got busy with dogs. Yes. L naturally. Yes. Many times. Architectural sheet metal. Good to see you. Well, I'm assuming Y is yes. 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 Okay. So let me illustrate then. One of my goals is to inspire and motivate people. But the reason we're talking, and even Coach Lady, why you're here, is actually because of a specific thing, YouTube, a specific problem, YouTube, a specific searchable thing, YouTube, and a specific skill, YouTube. So that's just my best advice, is that oftentimes the key to maybe fulfilling a mission that's on our heart that maybe feels general is finding a specific vehicle that we can ride to take us there. And so there's a proverb about this, and it says, if you see someone who's skilled at what they do, they'll serve before kings, not common people. Skilled though. So I think it's also, if we can identify a skill, we identify, and then by the way, now if we do get into self-development, there's interesting things like, let's take vulnerability. Like when I hear vulnerability, it does feel in a way like it's a very clear thing, but also kind of elusive in general. But there's a individual named Brené Brown who wrote a book called Daring Greatly, who studied vulnerability for like 10 to 20 years and basically found like one word. My friend Evan Carmichael talks about, what is your one word? And if your one word is like happy, which actually, by the way, there's like the happiness advantage. Like some people, they go like 10 years deep on like one word, but I digress. My one word, YouTube. Like, so it could be like, it's that all I'm asking, and this is what we talk about in Niche Finder too, is like, let's find that vehicle. Let's find that opportunity. Let's find that thing. And sometimes it also might even kind of feel weird, but we have a whole auditing process, meaning, by the way, even you talk about like how to rank a video on YouTube. It's actually kind of like not inspiring. I mean, it kind of is, because there's money, opportunities, and views. How to do YouTube SEO. Like that's peace and joy. Like probably I actually get like happy when I think about YouTube SEO, but most of our students get stressed because that's why they hire us, why they join our membership, is to like learn a skill set so they can get their message out to more people. I'm encouraging you though to get your message out. That's why we have a whole course on Niche Finder, and that specific problem you solve, that specific pain point you solve. And so this is why, that, you know, to rattle off a few ideas. It could be weight loss. It could be Bible study. It could be fitness. It could be relationships. It could be health, money, or relationships are the three big categories. And then you niche down. So health, it could be anti-aging, It could be supplements, it could be, you know, how to feel your best. So we talk about, like my friend Shereen Johnson is a health expert and talks about 7 ways to have more energy and then how to deal with. So punchline is like you could, and then we're talking about double and triple niching. So if we take this conversation a little bit deeper, you might say, well, Sean, my channel is about health. Yeah. When you're small and trying to stand out, it's 2024, y'all. Like getting hyper niched. Like, let me ask you this. Can you show me a channel that is all about Twitter X in a quality, deep way? Like to the depth that I'm about YouTube? Is there even a channel on YouTube that is like Twitter news, Twitter tips, how to use Twitter, all the changes with Twitter? Grok is on there now. And like all they focus on is Twitter X. I don't even know if one exists. It's 2024. And no one has done that. If you show me a channel with 12 subscribers, it doesn't count. I'm talking about they've got 10, 20, 30, 40 quality videos. And they're your number one resource for learning how to use Twitter, how hashtags work, this week in Twitter, new updates, feeds, new app feeds, how trendings work. Like just, that's the only thing it's about, is just Twitter. Can you show me? Is it shocking that there is 0 people doing that? Well, it might have been a good episode of the Coffee with Cannell show, because all I'm encouraging you to do is that when you don't want to be a wandering generality, you want to be a meaningful specific. That when you find your thing and you lock into that meaningful specific thing, you ask for my advice. In my opinion, it might seem like it's disconnected, but it's this idea of now you can inspire and motivate. People come to you to solve a problem first, and because of the skill. And what's the skill? You might go, well, I don't know Twitter. Well, nobody does. You have to, I didn't know YouTube. You could take something like that. You just go, if you go study it for 10 hours a week, 20 hours a week, and then you stick with it for 3 years, you're now like the #1 expert on like how to use X. Because everyone, like, we all have to like, you learn AI. A lot of people are going, AI is specific and general. How to use AI for content creators, how to use AI for job, like the #1 AI for career professionals that work in corporate offices. I promise you this, I don't think you would ever run out of content, probably ever in your life. There would never not be something new to talk about. If you were like, I help busy professionals, and you narrow down the niche. They work in 9-to-5s. They work in corporate. They want an easily digestible videos of how to use AI to get their work done faster, to build reports out for their boss, for solving their different problems, for getting updated of how AI Coach or whatever, Microsoft's AI Pilot is tied in, and how Excel is evolving. And so you've identified a target audience, you've identified a clear pain point, you've identified a But next thing you know, Microsoft brings you into their conference to speak, and you get to inspire and motivate everyone there. So that's just my opinion, is that the specific skill and the specific niche is a way to cut through the noise in the sea of sameness. Thoughts? Anybody find a Twitter channel? Anybody find an all-in, the #1? All right. Well, that's kind of crazy, isn't it? Oh, YouTube is too crowded. Certain niches are. Generic self-development, I think, is. But meaningful specifics, and there's always ways to do it. And let me challenge you. There is always ways to do it. I got to go eventually. We are coming up to the end of the hour here. Oh, yeah. I'm doing my, I like you, invest in coaching and masterminds. And so I have a mastermind in 25 minutes. But I have a book report that I have to do for it. And one of the book I read this past month, I actually didn't read the book. I'm kind of like cheating. I'm not cheating. I'm actually going to admit I didn't read the book. But what I did was I went to blueoceanstrategy.com. That was the book I was supposed to read, and studied it for hours and studied all the frameworks and went through all this stuff. This is all free, by the way. But like this 6 paths framework, kind of hard to understand. It took me a while to unpack it. But like this gives you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 verticals to look across. Look across alternative industries for inspiration and how to position your channel. Look across strategic groups within an industry. Redefine your industry and buyer group. I'm talking almost gibberish here, but eventually. And here's the big idea. See, let's talk about self-development or just inspiring people is a red ocean strategy. What does red mean? It means there's blood in the water. Everyone's competing for the same people. Everyone, all the sharks, it's kind of a bad analogy, but not the word, but like you're creating content and like the same viewers, like there's just, here's the definition. A red ocean is everyone's competing for existing market space. You're trying to beat the competition. So you're going to beat Jay Shetty, or you're going to beat Sarita Jakes, or you're going to beat, like, you just sort of think you're going to beat Mel Robbins. Like it doesn't mean you can't like build yourself up in personal development. I'm just saying it's the losing strategy. You're trying to beat the competition instead of making the competition irrelevant, because you start a channel that no one's even doing yet, a topic, a specific skill. So red ocean strategy, compete in existing market space. Blue ocean, create uncontested market space. Red ocean, beat the competition. Blue ocean, make the competition irrelevant. Red ocean strategy, exploit existing demand, trying to get the views of that everybody else is fighting for. Blue ocean, create and capture new demand. because there's always new things happening. So someone's out here right now trying to figure out Grok. It just became publicly available. Now I know there's a lot of people already trying, but like it's brand new. Okay. Make the value trade-off, red ocean, break the value cost trade-off. And so not that you ever, like the real ones are buying 10 books today, but Blue Ocean Strategy is the book. Drea, you know what to do. And so here's your promise: how to create uncontested market space and make the competition irrelevant. By the way, and if you, it is a little hard to digest. It's very kind of corporate-y. It's very, and so the other thing you could do is check out our niche finder course or whatever, but, or none of that stuff. Big idea, like carve out a specific skill or a specific problem you solve, and then inspire and motivate people on the journey as you get found because of the specific problem. But then you have a chance to make an impact, hopefully like you're feeling on this live stream, because I think you're here because of YouTube, but we have this chance to connect more personally. I think that's the insight. All right. As we land the plane, Coach Lady Shaw's also said, what does it mean that your mission is greater than your opposition? It just means that on the journey of building a YouTube channel, you might get haters and critics along the way. So you need to remember that your mission is greater than the opposition. And therefore, the more we talked a lot about this today, like Rena, don't care about what the haters say. You got to be bold with your message of anti-aging and how well the lessons you've learned. And people could call you conceited, or they could call you this. People could call you anything. And it is, I think it's wrong to judge someone's motives, because that is a mind reading cognitive bias. And it's the appeal to motive fallacy. It's that we don't know what's in someone else's heart. You're prideful. Now, sometimes you might be able to tell if somebody is, but you really don't actually know. You know, what's kind of funny is there's a Bible verse that says Moses was the most humble man that ever lived. Do you know who the author of that book of the Bible was? Moses. Talk about a humble statement to write down. Just writing down. Moses was the most humble man that ever lived. Dash. Quote, Moses. You know, in the New Testament, the Apostle John said, the beloved disciple, the disciple Jesus loved most. Author of the book, John himself. And by the way, we're talking scripture. Everybody out here in the faith world is the pride police, like just like judging people's motives. That's actually why the Apostle Paul wrote. He said, I don't let, other man judge me. I don't judge other people. At the end of the day, God's going to be the judge. He said, I don't even judge myself. I just want to do my best. Let me actually get you chapter and verse. Not that this had to turn into a Bible study all of a sudden, but like God is the judge. He says, I don't even judge my own motives. This is 1 Corinthians 4:3. This is a good verse, man. This weird side tangent, but y'all know that you might get that if you turn into a coffee with Cannell. As for me, I care very little if I'm judged by you or any human court. Indeed, I don't even judge myself. This is the Apostle Paul speaking in 1 Corinthians 4:3. Some people go, oh man, when Sean starts talking about the Bible, hey, relax, man. No matter what your faith or background is, there's a lot of wisdom you can get in the Bible. This is cool. I care very little if I'm judged by you or any human court. Indeed, I do not even judge myself. My conscience is clear, but that does not make me innocent. It's the Lord who judges me. So he's like, listen, my heart's clear. I know I'm service-based. I know I'm serving people. I'm not trying to be prideful or arrogant. Doesn't make me innocent. Shoot. Because usually if you are prideful, you're blind to it, or God's going to judge me. But at the end of the day, I don't care if I'm judged by you. I don't care if I'm judged by a human court. I try not to even judge myself. I want to wake up with good intent, and I want to wake up with the fear of God and say, man, I'm trying to honor God. I want to honor other people. I want to do my best. I want to serve. So these are good mental models and frameworks to guard your heart and guard your mind and renew your mind daily. Do not be conformed to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Because when you start thinking about this is a great YouTube verse. Never thought about it until just now, but it's kind of like, keep your conscience clear, keep your motives pure. Know that you're also like anybody. You're like, yeah, in that video, I was kind of like getting into marketing a little bit. Like, I pushed it, so I'm trying to stay on the straight path. I'm trying to have good voices in my life. I'm trying to stay wise. I was trying to land the plane, but as you know, here we are. And that was my answer to your mission's greater than the opposition. So the opposition, you might judge me. Human Course might judge me. He's like, bro, I'm not even going to judge myself. I'm going to listen to the comments. That's not that we don't close our ears to feedback. That would be actually a really good evidence of pride. I'm not willing to read the comments. I know sometimes you got to guard yourself. No, I'm willing to listen to the comments, because if it's one hater and 99 positive comments, it might be worth take that with a grain of salt, because it's just a grain of salt. If your video gets 50% dislikes and they really identify you making a mistake, humility would be like, shoot, I can learn from that. I don't know if you've ever hung out here on the Think Media podcast comments. I'm listening. We took a video down. I didn't know some information, some stuff happened, some different things. And I made a mistake, or I could have done more research. And so I started talking with somebody in the DMs, and and so I said, and they said, Think Media, we built trust with you. And this is kind of surprising for us. And I'm like, I'm listening. I jumped in the DM, started talking, did some research, verified some stuff, made a decision for what's best for our brand, for our community. I'm going to make mistakes. We all will. Anyways, the mission's greater than the opposition. Have you read God at Work? I probably bought it. I did. I'm sure it's on my bookshelf. I buy every book. Do I read every book? I intend to. I am a bibliomaniac. That's a true term. Bibliomania. Have you ever heard of it? I have it. So it's a noun that means extreme passion for books or a strong desire to collect and possess them compulsively. And what's funny about it is, look at this over here on the Wikipedia. It's a symptom of obsessive compulsive disorder, which involves the collecting or even hoarding of books to the point where social relationships and health are damaged. People like, bro, Sean, where were you? I was opening the Amazon boxes. I was trying to. You didn't come out. You weren't hanging out. Social relationships are being damaged by your book addiction. It's a true thing. And I have not read God at Work, but I'm pretty sure I purchased it and it's sitting on my shelf. Thanks for the recommendation. How long should you test a new format besides deciding if it's right for the channel? Forgive me. I do see a lot of, I'll just go too deep. So please come back next time, turn on notifications, and we'll hit that. Sean, is it worth doing live streams? Does it get monetized? It does get monetized if your channel's monetized. And it's also a good way, if you could get a few viewers on there and a few replay viewers. I mean, we're here at 2 hours and 7 minutes. So it's a long time. It's a good way to compound watch time and watch time minutes and hours. If you can get even just a few people on there multiplied by the length of it, there's an interesting thing to do there. That's a good topic for another time about a live streaming strategy. Notice what we did today. We're going like random and Q&A, and I'm getting like sidetracked by stuff. But notice how it started with high replay value, with a training, like with content up front, and then some of the more interactive stuff later. So you could study how we do live streams at Think Media. I think there's a lot to learn there. And we actually unpack that whole strategy inside of our Video Ranking Academy. Double down or try something new. I have a good answer for you. Always both. It doesn't, like, we're creating false binaries. So a false binary is like, my only choice is, do I double down on my current strategy or do I try something new? I have to pick one. No, you don't. You should be doing both. We all should. So you should always identify inside of your YouTube channel, what has worked best, what is performing best, what has at least some proof of verifiable results out of my current library, what can give me the most predictable amount of views. And let's say that was 100 views a video. Well, I know this works, so I can keep doing this and get 100 views a video. However, if we're ever going to stay relevant, not just today, but for tomorrow, and we ever want breakout success out of the norm of just doing what normally works, then we need to try something new and experiment. So in my opinion, it is always, it might be a dance between the two or simultaneously. Like maybe how many videos do you post a week? I post Think Media podcasts on Tuesday and Thursday. We don't do it this linearly, but Tuesday could be like the topics we always know work. And Thursday could be like something new. And then we're like, wow, 10 out of 10 YouTube score. Your worst out of your last 10 videos. Well, to try something new, that one didn't pan out. But the next week we're like, whoa, 1 out of 10. And it leads us down a new path of creativity. But a lot of times, especially if your channel is more mature like yours is, I think that it is dangerous to let go of the tried and true, but it's also dangerous to only do the tried and true, because especially in an industry like digital media, social media, YouTube, creator economy, you got to be reinventing yourself and experimenting. So I think that also speaks, it's the two gears every leader, business owner, content creator needs to be shifting from. It means I got to be stewarding my current season faithfully, but also thinking about what's next. I got to be working on the new me in the next version of my business. You got to try to put yourself out of business so somebody else doesn't. So it's like I'm working on what works today, but I'm also asking my question, okay, where are things changing? What should I be doing now? What experiments can I be doing? Some of those experiments fail, but then eventually when times do change, and they do, and when recessions happen and they do, and when elections happen and they do, and when algorithms change and they do, and when this summer slump happens and things shift and move, if you didn't have some stuff queued up because you were cooking up the next thing while you were also being faithful with the now thing, then when life pivots and the world changes, it's too late. You always kind of want to be cooking up your next thing. And I don't know if it's an exact ratio, but you could call it 80-20. I would say 80-20. If the thing that you're is doing is also, it's the money maker. You got cash flow is oxygen. You're keeping the cash coming. You're keeping the growth going, even if it feels slow. You're chopping wood. I'm gonna keep chopping wood. But if you got, then you take 20% of your budget, 20% of your time, 20% of your week for R&D. And what does your research and development department do? They run experiments and waste money. You know, entire research and development projects that tank. But if 9 out of 10 of those tank, that led you to the genius idea that prepares you for what's next, then when somebody else, when the weather changes and the famine hits, when the seasons change and the algorithm's different, you've been cooking. You've been cooking when no one was looking. People go, how were you ready? And that's the Joseph Bible story. How were you ready when famine hit? Because I was getting ready when there wasn't a famine. Get ready, stay ready so you don't have to get ready. I was getting prepared before I needed to be prepared because it was too late. I was building my ark before the world got flooded. Shoot. And everyone was mocking me. It's never rained before. What are you building a boat for in the middle of everyone was mocking me. But then it started to rain. And I created an ark for my family and for my kids because I was looking ahead and preparing and planning. Okay. It's like, this is the land, the plane. Like, anyways, double down or try something new. Should I choose just one pillar between travel, food recipes, and travel vlogs? Let's hit that one next time. I want to acknowledge you, Mia, for being here and being this patient to be with me at 2 hours and 13 minutes into this. But as we saw with this lightning round, Sam, that it wasn't very lightning. Talking about Noah's Ark. Like, where are we? Anyways, I want to acknowledge Sam. Sam, thank you for jumping on today. I appreciate you so much. And thanks for being a part of our Think Media coaching team. Share some love with Sam in the chat. And let me know go to the ants. Oh, no. I'm getting Bible verses and I can't stop. Go to the ant. What's the ant doing? He's preparing, isn't he? That ant is out there. Go to the ant. Let's read the whole thing. Go to the ant, you sluggard, and be wise. He stores his provisions in summer. That's right. You got to be getting ready. Yeah, thank you. It was not thank you. I want to acknowledge you. Dude, it's August, man. People are checked out right now. It's the August slump. It's just true in a lot of places. You're here. You're working on yourself, working on your game, working on your goals, working on your vision. Go to the ant and be wise. Drea, I can't get past this. Like, stop throwing Bible verses at me. Joseph, let's go. Okay. I was cooking when no one was looking. That's right. Okay. Listen, y'all. I appreciate y'all. Smash like. Grateful for you. Can't wait for the next Coffee with Cannell. Can't wait for the next video. Today's video on how to be more productive on this very channel. If you didn't see it yet, that's the next move. I had a legend on. His name's Michael Hyatt. I promise you, if you watch today's video podcast on this channel on how to be more productive this week, the time you invest, I know you already spent a lot of time with me here, but the time you invest watching that podcast will give you 10x return in your time, your schedule, just because it's going to help you set some boundaries, say no, get your calendar right, get your email systems right. There's so many nuggets that's on today's podcast. I appreciate you. My name is Sean Cannell, your guide to building a profitable YouTube channel, and I will catch you in a future Coffee